How's it going, everyone? Just making a video showing off my very first O-scale layout. Honestly, it's actually my very first model railroad layout. Growing up as a kid, my dad had N-scale. So that was my first love, but as I got older, I tried going into HO because it was bigger. Thought, wow, this is great. Tried O right after that, and that's when I was hooked. So that was the scale I wanted to continue with. So here we go. This is my very first. Obviously, I'm using Lionel Fast Track. Zoom in a bit. So using Lionel Fast Track, the outside loop is 048. The inside loop is 036. So the outside loop has just a little yard here. I'm using 036 switches, manual. So another thing about my layout, you watch all these YouTube videos of other people and their layouts, and obviously they're dedicated to this hobby. So they're not afraid to spend the money on manual switches or legacy engines, you name it. Or not manual switches, but remote command control, whatever it is, switches. These ones, I went with 036 manual, obviously, because they're $45 a piece at my local shop. Everything bigger than that, everything that's not manual, obviously, is like $100 plus, $120 plus. So my first layout, I'm not really willing to spend $100 plus per switch. I mean, obviously, you can see I already broke one, so that's fun. But I mean, the switch still works. Just have to use it manually, literally manually, instead of using these little throws. But it works great. Haven't had any issues with it other than me breaking it. But that was my fault. It's not the fault of the product. But again, here's just the yard. So the main loop, and then two little side yards. Just storing some stuff. In the future, I do plan on putting some sort of block right there. Just so I can power off those little yards and not have engines sitting there. Obviously with legacy engines, it's not that big of a deal. You can turn them off, but I don't have legacy. Right now, I literally just have a, what is it, the Pennsylvania Flyer starter set. It's good. I like it. The engine's metal. Obviously, it has puffing smoke. It doesn't have a fan-driven unit, as you can tell. But I don't know. For the first set I've ever bought, I'm enjoying it. Sounds great, looks great, feels great, runs great. Haven't had any issues with it. So, whenever I can start saving money to the side a little more, I plan on buying some legacy engines. Just to see what the hype is about. I've held some, looked at some. Obviously they're cool, they have great detail. But I've never owned one. I've never operated one. But yeah, here we go. Again, just rambling. So back to the loop. Inside is 036. Obviously it comes up here. I plan on having some 036 manual switches right here. Just to connect the two loops. Right now, I'm just using this little Lionel lock-on 10-inch section track. And then the inside loop is powered by that little 80-watt transformer. Whenever the two loops are connected, I do plan on just using that transformer. For the size of my layout, I don't think one power source with one feeder wire is going to be an issue. Obviously, everyone says to add feeder wires for future-proof, and depending on how big your layout is. But honestly, my layout isn't that big. It's 16 feet 3 inches if you want to be exact, and 5 foot wide to be exact, 5 foot 3 inches. I'm not sure why it came out that way, but it just did. So 16 by 5 works great. I like it. I had plans to do a larger layout, which went from this whole wall about 17 feet along this wall, which is, I believe that was 14 feet. But the more and more I thought about it, the more and more I planned it, I realized it was going to be a little overwhelming, especially for a first layout. So I just stuck with this. And I know this isn't necessarily a tiny layout, but from the layouts you see on YouTube, all these big name train people, it's pretty small. But I like it. I'm happy with it. Just a simple loop, inner and outer. A little yard if I want to do basic operations. But this inside loop, whenever the layout is not finished, but the track is officially fully down with the actual layout shape I want, there's going to be a switch about there also, which comes into here, little siding. I'd like to put, there's going to be a mountain here. Everyone has to have a mountain. I have to have a mountain also. So there's going to be a little siding that comes right here. It's going to go into the mountain, and I want it to be kind of like a mining operation. So I'll see what I can find, some sort of mining building that I can attach to the mountain, have coal cars sitting there. And then down on this side, there's going to be another switch right here, 036 manual obviously, and that's going to come into here and then switch off into two separate tracks. And I would like to have like a maintenance shop there that's also inside the mountain, sticking out a little bit, obviously for space issues, and I just think it would look kind of cool. First started, that's not bad. I like it, I'm happy. But anyway, as for era and scenery, landscape, what am I modeling? I'm not necessarily sticking to one specific era. It's most likely just going to be modern. I'd like this side to be sort of like a lumber milling operation. And then over here, mining, coal, you name it, whatever. I do plan on having an upper loop. Excuse the disgusting basement wall. So an upper loop, it'll be 036 also, come over this way, 036, do a reversing loop, just single track. So, logging and timber over this way with a maintenance shop, mining with just a single yard over here. I think it'll look pretty nice. If I'm tech savvy enough, I'll try showing you the plan I have in Scarn. I'll see if I can throw it up on the screen. If not, then I didn't know how to do it. Excuse me. I'll try figuring it out later. But, back to the whole money thing when it comes to O-scale. Obviously they're expensive. As you can see, I don't have anything really expensive or quality. Everything I have was bought used. That engine set I bought on eBay, used. I actually got a really good price on it. It was 110 bucks used. I think it's $280, $300 brand new. But no issues with it. Obviously, the cars I have, they're nothing too special. They're just stuff I bought at a thrift store. There's actually a guy closing his shop at the thrift store and had everything for dirt cheap. So I picked him up. Eventually, I'd like to buy more box cars to fit this Steam loco. I don't know about intermodal. I don't have $100 to spend per car. We'll see. We'll see what happens. If I get more dedicated to this, I'll start spending more money on it. But I have a lot of hobbies that I kind of waste money on. And this is the newest edition. I do RC, trucks, obviously model railroad. I work on cars. I like to spend money on my cars. I'm into firearms, and if you're into those, you know that's an expensive hobby. But it's worth it. It's fun. Can't take the money with you. I'll try to keep updated videos on what I'm doing, the progress of the layout. If anyone has tips, if you have recommendations for my layout, if you see something that you think, oh my god, why would you do that? Fix that now. Feel free, throw it in the comments. I will gladly take tips and tricks from the people who have doing it longer and know more about it. I've said it maybe 16 times in this video, but I'm new to model railroading, especially O-gauge. And side note, what a terrible but also good time to get into model railroading and O-gauge. Lots of stuff coming out, Bluetooth being added to everything, but obviously I had to figure out what's the way to run these, you know, with N scale. Back when I used it, it was just a tiny little transformer with a knob. and direction button. Now everything has sound, Bluetooth, you name it, DCC. But I'm finding out that you can run these with that TMCC Cab 1 remote or the Legacy remote. My God, the prices on those. $1,000 plus on eBay for a Legacy remote. No shops in my area or surrounding areas have the Legacy remotes. And then when they do, someone buys it and immediately throws it up on eBay. And then even the Cab 1 remotes, people are asking like $500 for them with the whole setup. So right now, I'm just using Bluetooth. I'm using my either iPhone or an iPad that I'll set up to operate these. Not getting all the features, obviously not getting all the key talks, all the bells, the whistles, the Pluto whistle. It would be nice, but until I figure out what I want to do with it, I'll just keep using these Bluetooth devices. I'm looking into the Cab 3 that's supposed to come out. From what I understand, I could be totally wrong, and if I am, feel free to correct me. But from what I understand with the Cab 3 base station is I could use a smart device to also control older TMCC logos that don't have Bluetooth. If I'm wrong, please let me know so I don't waste money on that and then find out later. But from the demos with Dave and forums I was reading, it sounds like I'll be able to do that. But then again, I could be wrong. Again, any tips and tricks, let me know. I'll try to keep updated videos with this. I want to do some ballast. I want to do scenery. I would like to do realistic scenery, not just like grass turf. I want to buy one of those static grass applicators. Try to make it look as realistic as possible. I mean, obviously there's a third rail. I do have some plans for weathering my fast track. I've seen videos online of people weathering them. Not too many of them I've been happy with, so I do want to try my own ideas for this. Obviously you can see I'm just using gray painted drywall nails, which from a distance you don't notice them too bad. But again, that's my layout. Try to keep you guys updated, try to post some videos. I can't promise that I'll be doing once a week videos. I don't think that's possible for me at this point. But once a month maybe, hopefully. We'll see. Just a little simple layout, and then hopefully one day this thing will be amazing looking. Realistic scenery, multiple trains running. But only time will tell. Thanks so much for watching, all probably 6 of you that'll ever watch this video. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I'm not holding you to it. I probably wouldn't after watching this video, but we'll see. Thanks again.